family doesn't want to be there. In a 2017 interview, remember when LeBron James during All-Star Weekend in New Orleans went to that barber shop and Draymond Green and 2 Chainz and company were there and they had that big old conversation? In that interview, for the first time, LeBron opened up about his family actually not supporting his decision to return back home to Ohio. For me, when I decided to go back and I talked to Mav and Rich and Randy and everybody, I had to let them know some people were on the fence. Even my wife was like, my mama and my wife was like, fuck that, I ain't with that. My mom was definitely like, fuck that, we ain't going back. LeBron told the group. For me, it was more, I had to finally be like, you know what, Mom, it ain't really about that. Me going back is more of a bigger picture and more about all these kids, all these people who needed inspiration and needed a way to get out. And I believe I am the way out. So as much as my mom means everything to me and as much as my wife means everything to me and my kids, my mom was like, you go back, I ain't going back with you. She was like, I'm staying in Miami. I had to be like, let's not worry about the small shit and let's worry about building something that's bigger than our name, he explained. Now obviously no one in their right mind will pick to live in Cleveland over South Beach, but it's deeper than that. LeBron's wife Savannah has a juice bar in Miami. That's why she didn't want to leave. His kids had got accustomed to their new schools after a 4-year transition, but there was more than that. A real reason why Bron's wife and his mama didn't want a Cavs reunion. Reason number 3, the Cavs owner Dan Gilbert doesn't deserve him. Do you remember the Cavs owner letter to LeBron after his televised decision to leave Cleveland? Dear Cleveland, all of Northeast Ohio and Cleveland Cavaliers supporters, wherever you may be tonight, as you now know, our former hero, who grew up in the very region that he deserted this evening, is no longer a Cleveland Cavalier. This was announced with a several-day narcissistic self-promotional buildup culminating with a national TV special of his decision. Unlike anything ever witnessed in the history of sports and probably the history of entertainment, clearly this is bitterly disappointing to all of us. The good news is that the ownership team and the rest of the hardworking, loyal, and driven staff over here at your hometown Cavaliers have not betrayed you, nor never will betray you. There is so much more to tell you about the events of the recent past and our more than exciting future. Over the next several days and weeks, we will be communicating much of that to you. You simply don't deserve this kind of cowardly betrayal. You have given so much and deserve so much more. In the meantime, I want to make one statement to Cleveland tonight. I personally guarantee that the Cleveland Cavaliers will win an NBA championship before the self-titled former king wins one. This shocking act of disloyalty from our homegrown chosen one sends the exact opposite lesson of what we would want our children to learn and who we would want them to grow up to become. But the good news is that the heartless and callous action can only serve as the antidote to this so-called curse on Cleveland, Ohio. The self-declared former king will be taking the curse with him down south, and until he does right by Cleveland, Ohio, James and the town where he plays will unfortunately own this dreaded spell and bad karma. Just watch. Sleep well, Cleveland. Well, Dan Gilbert, you didn't deliver on your promise. LeBron won 2 championships with the Heat and then came back and took care of your dirty work. LeBron and his family had every right to never return to that organization after he dedicated the first 7 years of his career, averaging over 27, 7, and 7, to a lottery-bound franchise. Without LeBron, translation, the Cavs are nothing. Reason